duration today due to some restriction that I'm currently having, but we'll see how we'll make do with the short time that we are, are going to have today. So without delay, I'll just quickly share my screen. I'll just quickly share my screen. Uh, Let me quickly share my screen. Please confirm you can see my screen. Confirm you can see my screen, please.
Yes, we can see.
Okay. So yesterday we successfully looked at account creation. We looked at account creation, how to create account for a new hire that just joined the organization, and we were looking at um, account unlocking to unlock an account when the network started acting up yesterday. So we are still going to look at that today. But before we wrapped it up yesterday, Olamiji asked a question, and though I can't really get the question about him, but I understand that it has to do with fine grain permission granting. Yeah, how to give permission according to the role you want a particular admin to play or a particular user to play in your infrastructure. Yes, have it. Active Directory have it. Yes, just that you must be skillful enough to to really access those features. So I will quickly go to my Active Directory. I'll quickly go to my Active Directory, and I'm going to before I will create before we do that permission granting. I want to say that when you are granting permission, though we are still going to talk more on it on a slide because I have a slide for tips or help desk when it comes to Active Directory. We're still going to look at it. So when you are granting permission, don't grant permission to a single user. It is very, very wrong to grant permission to a single user. Instead, create a group. Though you might not be the person that will do all this, is the server admin, but in case you find yourself in that position, create a group and assign that permission to the group. So any user you put in that group automatically gets that permission. So once you start assigning permission to individual users, it can really mess things up, especially when you don't document. You won't even know which user has which permission, which user who can do what. So it is better you attach permission to group, not users. Now, I'm going to create a group. That will do a particular that will carry out a particular function. That function is the only function that group will create. Anybody that's in that group, that is the only function it will create. And now I'm going to look at password reset. Password reset for only users in this really group of companies. I want an admin to be able to reset passwords for the users in this organizational unit. First of all, I will create a group. I'll create a group. Let me put the group here. I will create the group. I will call it Helpdesk. Or let me say password reset password reset admin. This is the name of the admin. This is going to be the name of the group. Now that we do this reset, that we're able to reset password for just not the entire, not all the users only this organizational unit. So what I will do is I will right click the organizational unit, then I will say delegate control. I'm not delegating, I want to delegate control now of this organizational unit now to that group. I'm not just going to delegate all the permission of that. No. I'm going to decide which permission I'm delegating to the group. First of all, I will select the group. I will search for the group here. Password reset admin. Very good. I'll click, then I'll go next. Now, I won't select anything here. Rather, I want to go to custom tasks to delegate because I want to do a fine-grained permission granting. Now, it said this folder, existing objects in this folder, and creation of new objects in this folder. I say only the following objects. Now, I want to select the type of object I want this admin to control. I don't want it to control any other object other than users. Remember, it's only resetting passwords. It doesn't make sense that an admin that is resetting password should also join the computer to domain. It's wrong. If it's resetting password, if a group is resetting password, let that group reset password alone. So I said, okay, it's only affecting the user object, no other object. Then I go next. Now, what kind of permission will he have? What kind of permission is he going to have? All I just want him to do is to what? Reset password. And I will come here and say reset password. That is all I want him to do. That is all I want him to do. Reset password, then I will go next. Finish. So this group now can only reset password. So if I come to all users here, you are going to see some groups that I created. If you come here, this is read all users. This group, anybody in this group can read all the users in my organizational unit, which is this tech icon system. That is all. Read all computers. It can only read only computer. It can't read users. Now, I also have LAPS admin for this admin can generate a local admin password. We will get to that. Then I also have delete user admin. This admin, this group, anybody in this group can delete user. I have create user admin. Any user in this group can create a user. Then I have add user to OU. This user, anybody in this group can add a user to organizational unit. So that is how. I also have password reset admin. Anybody in this group can reset password. So if I have a help desk, admin, like this guy here now is a help desk admin, or I have a help desk group. I have a help desk group. I have a help desk admin group. Now, I cannot decide what do I want my help desk to do. there are some organizations whose helpdesk only have the permission to reset password. If I'm a server admin in such an organization, all I will just do is to add this helpdesk to the password reset group. To the password reset group. Password reset admin. And leave it there. So any admin, any helpdesk that I add as a member of this group can only reset password. But if I'm in an organization that allow helpdesk to create user, I cannot come and add this admin to the user creation group. So the create user group. Create user admin group. By adding this now, it automatically means that anybody in this group cannot create a user. It can create a user and it can also reset passwords. The permissions are increasing now. If I also want him to be able to delete a user, but this one now, he can create the user, but he cannot delete. He has created the user, he has created the user. He can't delete the user. So if maybe something happened, he happened to create a user by mistake, he will now need somebody with a higher permission to carry out that delete operation because he cannot do it. Yes, there are organizations like that. So now, when you've created all the type of assets that you want to have, different type of assets that you want to have, then you now start adding the group. With this one now, it will be easier for you to manage. With this one, it will be easier for you to manage because if the organization now decide tomorrow and say there's an incident that happened, and it happened because the helpdesk was given a permission to create users, and due to that we had a security breach. Please, we don't want the helpdesk to create user again. You don't need to start going to each of the maybe you have 10 guys that are running the helpdesk role. You have 10 helpdesk personnel. You don't need to be going to their account to go and start removing permission. No. All you just need to do is to come to the helpdesk group, member of okay, I think it's not supposed to be here. This is member, sorry. It's supposed to be member of, not member. It's supposed to be member of. It's supposed to be member of. It's supposed to be member of. Apologies. This is password. Password, then create. Okay, so it's supposed to be member of, meaning that this helpdesk admin is a member of these two groups. So by virtue of that, any user that is a member of this group is also a member of these two groups by inheritance. You have automatically inherited these two groups. So that is how it works. So when you have this, and the organization say, no, we don't want helpdesk to be able to create user again, you can simply just come here, come to properties, member of, and remove this group from them. Once you remove it, any helpdesk admin that is a member of this group automatically stop having access. You've automatically revoked the create user access for all the helpdesk without going one by one to each of their properties to go and remove the permission from their account. Yes, so that is that. Also, so I think my battery is a minute, please. My battery is draining out. I need to switch. Okay, let me join the call with this. Okay.
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 Um,
Okay, so I will be to another. I'm going to switch my PC. Just give me 5 minutes to do so. Thank you.
okay. Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay. Okay. So you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I just my PC ran out of power, so I just had to switch to my alternative PC. So I just created this. I just moved this disk here. Okay, so can I still locate my okay, let me see what I created. Okay, I think the Rennie group OU is not here, so I'll just quickly create it and continue from here. I have a Rennie group. I have a Rennie group limited. On it, I have a Rennie Autos limited here. Okay, so I was demonstrating permissions, granting permissions to the help desk. And one thing I want to mention, one thing that is worth mentioning is that the account I use in logging into this Active Directory, as you can see, is the administrator. There is no organization that will give you that will hand over this account to one user, to one person. You know, there's no organization that will hand over this account to one person to manage. No, because with this account, you can destroy the whole infrastructure. Because one thing you must understand is that okay, sorry about that, guys. The this account, this account is the like what I was saying. I was talking about the domain controller. The domain controller is more like the server that owns that domain, because that is where all your users get authenticated. So any hacker that gets to your domain controller, that is like checkmate in chess. Any hacker that successfully gets here to this domain controller, that is checkmate. In fact, he have gotten access to your whole infrastructure. So that's why organization protect their Active Directory with all their domain controller with all they have. because it's a very, very powerful server in any infrastructure. So nobody, no company will hand over this account to you, to one person to manage. In some organizations, they call it a break glass account. That is, the account is only used in times of emergency. So if you have even a server admin, you are going to carefully define, okay, I have this, I'm going to have server admin. What can this server admin do? What is supposed to be his function as a server admin? You will now review those functions and grant him permission according to those functions. Same thing apply to you as a help desk. They will review your job description, what you are supposed to do, and grant you just those permission you need. In cybersecurity, that is what they call principle of least privilege. It must be applied. So you won't just get this account to create, no. Sometimes they will just give you, depending on the company, they can just say, okay, the help desk can only reset password. There's another admin who have the capacity to create user accounts. There's another admin that have the capacity to create a user account. Yours is just to create password, if to reset password. So if maybe a user need to be created, you must assign that ticket to the admin who have the right to create that account. Since you don't have the right, you don't have the permission to do that. So that is on permission granting. That's on permission granting. So here you delegate control, then you select who you want to delegate the control to. Select who you want to delegate the control to. Maybe I have a group. Yeah, let me create that group again. This time is create user admin. Now I want this admin now to only create users in this Renly group. Note, it's not the entire Active Directory. The user, this admin now cannot create user in this tech account system, because I'm only delegating control to him on this organizational unit. This is where his power ends. This is where his whatever permission I'm going to grant him, this is where it ends, not the entire domain. Now, let us define his permission now. Okay, we select the group, which is create user admin. Okay, which I know I already have one. I think this is this one I just created. Say okay. Next. Now, here, so here, these permissions here, if you review what you have here and see that, okay, it meets your purpose, fine. But if you still want a fine-grained permission, you have to come to custom and, really select what you want to do. Only the following object in the folder I only want to, since we are creating account, it will only apply to user object, not computer, not subnet, not any other type of object, only users. Because if you don't set it to only users, if you leave it here, that means this same admin will be able to create other objects, which is not what you want. You want him to only create users. So you apply it to users and proceed. Now, what can he do? Say create all child objects. So remember, we've set it to users. So his only control is users. So the only object he can create is users. So say create all child objects. Then we proceed and we finish. So any user or group that have this that is a member of this group now can only create users. It cannot even reset password. With the permission we granted to this group now, it cannot even reset password. So what they do in Helpdesk is that after creating each of the permission for each of the operation that will be done, after creating group and permission for each of the operation that will be done, they will now create a group for the Helpdesk admin. This is the group the Helpdesk, the Helpdesk personnel will belong. Here is where they will now start granting access to. Now, depending on the policy of the company, they will not decide, okay, what do we want our Helpdesk to do? We want our Helpdesk to, one, we want our Helpdesk to be able to reset password. They will not say, okay, then add him now to the reset password group. Password reset group. So you have added him to the password. So this, anybody that any Helpdesk that find himself in this group can reset password. Good. We want the Helpdesk to be able to read all user property. We want him to be able to see all the users. We add it. Okay. We want the help, or they can say, okay, we want the Helpdesk to be able to disable account, to enable and disable account. Let me see if I already created this. Yes, okay. We want the Helpdesk to be able to enable and disable accounts. This disable account, I think I created both enable and disable. Yes, I just named it disable. It can enable account, it can disable account. So then I apply. Then here I know that this is the capacity of my Helpdesk admin. So if a new hire comes in tomorrow, let me say that new hire is going to work as a Helpdesk admin. And the name of the new hire is James Doe. Yeah, this is the brother to the famous John Doe. Yes. So we call him James Doe, and his username is going to be J Doe. Jado, continue. Let me just give him a password. Password one. Password one. Just a temporary password. And finish. So this guy, James, all I just need to do is to add him to the Helpdesk group. All I just need to do is to add him to the Helpdesk admin group. Since he's going to work as a Helpdesk, all I just need to do is to add him to the Helpdesk admin group auto, and boom, he can perform every function that the Helpdesk will do. He can perform every function that the Helpdesk will do. So that is it for permission. That is it for permission granting. I don't know. I don't know if there's any question that with regard to this. Is there any question? Okay. Olamiji, go ahead.
So
I see your
I
hand is up.
understand the part where you created the ITL desk and Helpdesk admin, but the instance whereby you were granting different functions to the Helpdesk, like okay, they could create user, reset password, and all that. I didn't really get that part. How to add multiple roles to that particular Helpdesk admin. If you can just show me one more time.
Okay.
Then also,
no.
I was trying to create an organizational group on my AD. But when I was trying it, I was clicking the object. It wasn't responding. So I was like, maybe that's not the first thing. Maybe I needed to create a user first, but I knew like you first created an organizational group, the Rainy Group Limited, before we started everything.
Yes. I will go over the permission granting again, but that organizational unit, you just need to right click. Like here now, if I want to create an organizational unit under my root, can you see my root here?
Yeah, the local system.
Yes. Yeah. If I want to create an OU under my root, I just need to right click the OU. Can you see?
Mm-hmm.
Then I come to new.
Uh-huh.
Under new, you see organizational unit. Then you click, then you give it a name and say okay.
Oh.
So if you want to create it as a child of another OU, you will do the same. You just right click. Like if I want to create it, I want to create another OU under Renly group. I just need to right click Renly group and go to new and go to organizational unit. Okay.
Okay.
Is that
Thank
fine?
you. Fine.
Okay. Now let me quickly go over the Helpdesk admin permission granting. Now, remember I said that first of all, though I need to say this, you are not the one that will do this as a Helpdesk. Yeah, this is a server admin's job, but it is better you have the knowledge so that you can know how these permissions work. You understand? Now, what the server admin does is that he will first of all create role according to a particular operation that need to be done in the infrastructure. maybe because I'm just, since the scope of this training is helpdesk, so I'm just trying to look at helpdesk rules. That's why I'm bringing creating user, reset password. There are other rules that have to do with the server. So here, let's assume you want your helpdesk to be able to create. Let me pull up my notepad. Let me pull up a notepad here. I want my helpdesk to be able to create users, reset password, enable or disable users. Okay, now let's assume these are the 3 permissions you want your helpdesk to have only for users only. Now, you come and delegate, because you cannot delegate you cannot just give the entire Active Directory. You cannot just give access to the entire Active Directory to your helpdesk. It's not done. It's not possible, because there are a lot of things here that does not concern him. There are a lot of things here that does not concern him. Where is business mainly are your users in your company, of which you have created an OU that will house all the users in your company. So here, all you just need to do is to right click that OU and delegate control. So delegating control means that you are giving control of this organizational, you are giving control over a particular function, not the entire, as in not just to do anything. No, just like you are the CEO of a company and you want to go on leave. You can delegate, you can do what they call a DOA, delegation of authority, to maybe your second in command, and specify what that person can do, so that that person doesn't maybe sell off the company before you come back from leave. You can say, okay, this person, any transaction that is below $1 million, this person can approve it. But any transaction above $1 million, he should not be able to approve it. So when you put down that policy and grant that DOA, even if he try to approve on a transaction that is above $1 million, in fact, he cannot, because he does not have the permission to do that. So he can only, where his power ends is any transaction below $1 million, because that is what you stated when you are delegating. So it's the same thing here. I've said, okay, I want to delegate control to a group or a user to carry out a particular operation on this OU. I come next, I select the user. I select the group. Then I proceed. If everything here is general, I don't want to use this one. I want to create a fine grained permission. So I will go to custom. I will say only the following objects in the folder. I'm only interested in user objects, not computer objects. Then I will say create all child objects. I'll say next. I'll say finish. So anybody that's a member of this group can create a user. So that is how the server admin will create all the group for each operation. It's not a good thing to create a group like this, and only the group can create user, only the group can reset password, only the group. It causes chaos. It causes serious problem. You create a group for one particular operation, create another group for a particular operation. So when you look at the group that user belong to, you will know the kind of permission you have, and you must name the groups accordingly, so that when you finish creating it and you are looking at it tomorrow, you won't be confused. Like create user admin. This admin, any user or group that is a member of this admin can only create user. So even if another server admin comes and sees it, you know that okay, this anybody in this admin group is only creation, is only user you can create. But if you this and delegate another thing in addition to creating user, or instead of delegating a user creation role to that group, you now went to delegate another thing, maybe computer creation or something else. In fact, it's going to cause big problem, serious problem, because the admin will not be doing what you don't even know. You cannot track what they are doing. You can, it causes serious problem. So that is how each of those groups are created. So when the server admin is done creating them, it will now come to the helpdesk admin group and start granting him permission by just adding him as a member of those groups that he already created. Now, let me remove this. Let me remove this. Let me remove this. So, by principle of inheritance, whatever group a user or group belong, the user or group automatically inherits the permission attached to that group. The user or the group which is a member of that group automatically inherits any permission or right that is in that group. So by that principle, we will now start adding. Remember what we have in our notes here. Remember what we have in our notes. Yes, my let me minimize this. Okay, so remember what we have in our notes here. This is the operation that the help desk should do. This is the only operation you want the help desk to do. So all you just need to do is to right click the help desk, come to properties. Then on the tab, you will click member of. You are trying to add this help desk group now to the groups you want this group to belong. So any group it belong determine the permission it have. Now I want this group to work as what? My password reset admin. Yeah. Then I add. By adding this now, anybody in this group now can reset password. I come again because I want my user to be able to create other user. My help desk to be able to create other user. I will now come create user admin. Okay. I have granted this group 2 permissions. I'll come again. Disable. So this admin now have 3 rights. You can create user, you can enable and disable users, you can also reset password. Then I will say apply. Then okay. So I've granted this permission now to the help desk admin. Remember group. You can see this one that have just one. This one that have just one icon here. This is a single user. Don't mix it up. This is a single user. But this one that have 2 is a group. This one that have just one icon here, just one person in the icon is represent a user. Is the icon for a user. This one that have 2 people in the icon is the group, represent the group. So in case you see it, you won't mix it up. So now James has come to the organization as a help desk. You don't need to start giving James permission, or you don't need to come here again to come and delegate control to James. You don't need to come here to come and delegate control to James and start giving him permission of what to do. No. You have already granted the permission to a group. All you just need to do is to add James. Since James is a help desk, and all what you want the help desk to do is already on this group. All you just need to do is to add James to the group. Just add him to the group. Just add him to the group of Helpdesk admin. So James automatically inherits all the rights you have here. So for us to check, let us go to James property now and see. We come to security. We come to security, or no, let me look at let me go to Renly group. Renly group security. Let me go to advanced. Effective access. Now I want to check the access that James have on this OU. James let us check his effective access now. Okay. James can read all content, can read all properties. Okay. Okay. Can you reset password? Let me see. Reset password. Okay. So when I created these permissions, I think I created them with this organizational unit. Yes, not Renly. I created them with the tech icon OU. So that is what I delegated. We check effective access for James. See reset password. Can be difficult to see. Reset password, reset password. Login, reset password. These permissions can be difficult to see sometimes. Read permissions. I wish this thing have search. I would have just quickly searched for it. I wish it have search. I would have just quickly searched for it, but it doesn't have search.
Is it possible to copy it to maybe Excel or Microsoft Word and search?
No. I think that's going to be a longer route. Let me check here. Temperatures, delete group. Here I have a create user admin here. I have a create user admin here. Okay, let me check for. I will create user admin here. No, I have a create user admin here. Now let me select James. I'll see if James have this permission too. Okay. So James also have this permission to create all child objects. I think when I copy this disk, I think I lost all the permissions. But James also have these permissions here. Maybe I will do this once again. I'll just quickly let me reassign this. Let me do the permission delegation again on this. Passwords reset admin. Next. Here. Okay. Go to users. Only users. Scroll down. Reset password. Finish. Okay, so I've granted the password reset admin. Let me confirm again that this is a group, is a member. Password reset, yes. Okay, let us check the access again. Let us check the access it have again. Let us check the access it has. Owner. James. Let us check the access James has. View effective access. I think I won't be able to see this here. Password reset admin. Let us replace this with James now. Let's see what James can do. You see that with James as the principal, he have right to reset password. James has right to reset password. So that is how you check for the, and if you look here, you will see that under this password reset, under this password reset that we clicked, that is the only permission he have. Under this password reset, that is the only permission he have. James. Okay, so you see that he have the right to create users. So that is how you check for the permission the user have. And one thing I will also say is that when you are, whatever you are doing in Active Directory, ensure you document properly. Active Directory does not have Control-Z. It does not have undo. You have done, you have done. And what betide you if you did not even document what you did? You won't, it will be very difficult for you to go back. It will be difficult for you to do undo. You have done it, you have done it. It is only audit that will be able to pick it up that, okay, this person did this. Yes, and it's not going to be a funny one for you at all. It's not going to be a funny one. So that is it with permission granting. Olamide, I don't know if you are clear with the issue of permission granting. Hello? 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 Can somebody hear me? Hello? Am I muted? No, I'm not muted.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, yes, I'm just asking if the issue of permission granting is clear. Is it clear, or are you still having any other challenge with respect to permission granting? Okay, so if that is clear, um, we'll just go to adding users to group, which is very, very simple, which we have done, which we have already done when we were, doing the last demo. So adding users to group and adding users to organizational unit. Adding users to group and adding users to organizational units. Okay. Now I created the user. Okay. Now let's assume I create a user. I create a user. This time John Doe. John Doe. Since I already have J Doe, I will just do John dot Doe. John dot Doe. Then I go next. I give it a password. 1. Then I finish. So with this user now, just like the way we created James in our help desk, just like the way we created James in our help desk and added it to the help desk admin, yes, we have now created John Doe. Now, let's assume that you have 2 companies, Tech Icon System and Rennie Group. John Doe was working with Rennie Group and he have now been transferred to Tech Icon Systems. So if John Doe has been transferred to Tech Icon Systems, he have no business remaining under the organizational unit of Rennie Group. So you need to move John Doe from this organizational unit to Tech Icon System organizational unit because maybe they have different policies. The two companies, though they are owned by the same organization, but they have different structures, they have different policies that are governing them. So John Doe cannot be working at Tech ecosystem but still be governed by the policy of Rennie Group. So you must move John Doe to the OU of his new company. And all you just need to do is to drag. You just double click on the user, hold it, and drag it to the organizational unit you are moving to. Move it here and leave. Then you say yes. So the John Doe has now been added to this organizational unit.
Okay.
Is it fine? Is it okay?
Yeah, that's clear.
Okay, so that is how you move. That's how you move a user from one OU to the other. Even if you create the OU on the root, which is not advisable, you must create. Even if you create the user on the root, which is not advisable, you create a user on the root directory. You must create an OU, then add the user, because OU helps you manage your user, because it is the OU you apply policies on. Policies application are kind of outside the scope of the Helpdesk, but we'll look at it and maybe in future trainings. So you might have OU for your HRO department. For your you might decide to create OU for different departments of your company, depending on the policies they are running. So when you add users to OU, one, you better organize them. Anybody in it, once you open the HRO OU, you know that everybody there is in the HRO team. So if there's any policy you want to apply to all members of the HRO team, you just apply it to the organizational unit, the HR organizational unit, and it take effect on all members of the team. So that is that with organizational unit. So it's as simple as just drag and drop when it comes to adding members to OU. Then adding members to group, like we have done before, is as simple as right-clicking the user. In our case, John Doe, you just right-click it. You can see add to group here. You click add to group. Then you search for the group you want to add the user to and click OK. You have added the user to the group. Or if you don't want to go through this route, you can go to the user's property. You will see member of. Then you now add the user to the group you want the user to be added. Now, like I was demonstrating yesterday, where a user was added to the legal department. Let me see if I still have the user here. Okay, I think it did not follow what I copied. Yeah, so there are organizations that have shared drive for each department. Each team have their own shared drive. So of which those shared drive have automatically been mapped to their group. So once you just add the user to the group, it automatically have all the permission and the shared drive for that particular department. So it makes it very, very easy to really manage users, because Active Directory is how will I put it? It's not as friendly as Entra ID, because whatever thing you do, it does not care if it's by mistake. You have done it, and it will be difficult for you to trace. That's why documentation is very, very important when you are dealing with Active Directory. I don't know if there's a further question, because I will call it a day here with adding users to groups and organizational units. Is there any other question, or maybe you have any other concern you want us to look at before we call it a day?
Do you mean if by mistake users were created on the root, they can be moved to the OU? Because
Of course.
I did create some user, but I never knew that it went under the root. I just checked now. I saw they were under the root local.
Yeah. Of
So I
course
will
we
just
can.
need to drag.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So whatever user that is created anywhere, as long as you can see it, you can drag it from there to where you want it to be.
Oh,
yes. So when you drag it, it will only warn you that, please, this user you are dragging, hope you remember that any permission that it used to have in any policy that applied to it in its former OU will be lost. You will just say yes, then it will allow you move.
Okay. The only difference is all the permissions it has earlier will be wiped off.
Not permissions, policies.
Policy. Okay.
Yes, like
Okay.
all these organizational unit you see, they assign policies to them. That is one of the main reason of even having organizational unit. They assign policies to them. So like this tech system now, I can say, okay, I want the password length for this company to be 7 characters and above.
Right.
Then I apply that policy to tech icon systems alone. But I want Renny Group, their password length can be 5 characters and above. You see, they have 2 different password policies now.
That's right.
Yeah, so if I am moving a user from tech icon system to Renny Group, that policy of 7 characters and above will no longer apply to him. He has now been moved to the OU that have the policy of 5 characters and above.
It's understood now. Thank you very much.
Yes, so that is how it works. So in the absence of any other question, I will call it a day today. So if you have any other challenge, maybe you can just hit me up on WhatsApp. I will respond to you. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right. Have a nice day then.
Have a beautiful week ahead.
Yeah. Thank you. Yep.